Well, coming up in this episode today, man, things are just getting worse for former police officer Brandon Tatum. And as this Nolan Wells tragedy is starting to unfold, things are starting to come out. Um, New evidence. We already heard the enhanced audio. A lot of people are trying to debunk the audio. We know what former officer Brandon Tatum did. Tried to conduct his own investigation to go back to Horn Island with some of the participants that went out on the boat with Nolan Wells on that tragic day on July 4th. And he sat down and interviewed some of the members of the party that was out there with Nolan, such as Warren. And former officer Brandon Tatum has made it a point to really back the friends of Nolan Wells, sending people clips that would might think that this right here that I'm showing you is clear evidence that them boys had nothing to do with the tragic death of Nolan Wells. Now, there's a lot of speculation out there of what's going on, and was he murdered? Was it an accidental death? Was it foul play? All sorts of things. Everybody has a lot of questions. But it seems that former police officer Brandon Tatum has continued to talk, and he has continued to say that the boys are innocent, and he wants everybody to apologize to them boys. And what I find kind of creepy is that former police officer Brandon Tatum is taking shots at Nolan Wells, and Nolan Wells is not here to defend himself. And you're out there protecting the friends that went out on this ship with Nolan Wells on July 4th. And you are slandering Nolan Wells as he rests in peace. And you're taking shots at his mother as well. And that's why people online do not rock with this guy, because he's made it abundantly clear that he don't care for black people, only for people that act like him. He's been on record to say the best thing that's ever happened to black folks was slavery. The same person that cried for Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's family didn't even let him speak at the funeral. The same person that said, "I'll never cry for my son," but cried over a white man. The same person that took personal shots at D.L. Hughley because D.L. Hughley called him out and exposed him for who he was. And it's a lot of people online giving former officer Brandon Tatum a lot of grief, but he deserves everything that he gets. So now that he's out there slandering Nolan Wells and not letting him rest in peace and saying all this about Nolan Wells, a YouTuber by the name of BigZOTv, shout out to BigZOTv, because evidently Big Zo must have had former officer Brandon Tatum on a show before, and I guess former officer Brandon Tatum was telling BigZOTv, you have to apologize to me, calling him out of his name and everything. So now BigZOTv has exposed him for all the lies that he's saying about Nolan Wells. And it's kind of diabolical the way that he is very adamant of putting this false narrative out about Nolan Wells in the midst of the tragedy that happened on July 4th, but you going to bat for these white boys. So let's take a listen to what BigZOTv said and how he exposed and destroyed former police officer Brandon Tatum. But before we get off into that, y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe on the video. And I just want y'all to pay attention to everything that BigZOTv is saying, because he got some valid points and he has evidence to back up the way he's cooked, slicing, and glazing former police officer Brandon Tatum. Take a listen.
Well, Tap Dance Tatum, if you didn't see on my last video, I talked about Tap Dance Tatum and all the contradictions and the things he was saying and how Nancy Grace and D.L. Hughley basically went at this man's neck. But there's a couple clips that I found online that I thought were interesting when it came to Tap Dance Tatum. It's not surprising. I mean, these are things that you kind of expect. He said some things that could make you look at him sideways and not even surprising at all. Here's what Tatum said, man.
Black people don't mess with Nolan. I want y'all to understand, because I'm the black person snitch. I'm a whistleblower. When you see a black kid that only hang around white dudes, I haven't seen a single picture with him around a single black person. Black folks shun black people like this. Ain't nobody gonna be him like that in the black community.
No. Hold on. What he wanted to say there, and that's why you saw him close his eyes. You saw him close his eyes like that because he's thinking about a personal experience. They shun you, dog. You have been shunned. For whatever reason that may be, you feel like you have been shunned. This is why he had to close his eyes and like think about it. Like, you know what? I feel this. This is me. This is me I'm talking about. Not Nolan. You. Let's go back. Look at how emotional and deep he gets with it. Like damn, I remember this. It's like those repressed memories.
Hang around white dudes. I haven't seen a single picture with him around a single black person.
Exposed.
Black folks shun black people like this. Ain't nobody gonna be him like that in the black community. I just want y'all to know.
A lot of hurt in there, brother. A lot of hurt.
You get caught Uncle Tom, coon, sellout, you chucking and
Yo, I tell you, man, sometimes you just gotta let people talk, man. This is all projection. This is 100% projection right here. 100% projection. This man said they get called coon, literally, that is what people are calling you right now. This is projection, bruh. And you've probably been dealing with this for the longest, and this is why you act the way that you act. This is why you're doing the things that you do. This is why they feel so comfortable coming to you, to have you put out these talking points for them. They want that safe guy who can disguise himself, go undercover, and then come back and tell them everything they need to know. And that's you. There's a reason why people have said this to you, and there's a reason why you feel like this. And I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to push this onto Nolan because you're looking at Nolan and you're thinking in your mind, that guy don't hang out with no black people. He don't got no black friends. Well, there's a lot of things that will prove you wrong as we go along in this video, but we're gonna bring it right back for you to repeat that dumb shit you just said. Go ahead.
like this. Ain't nobody gonna be him like that in the black community. I just want y'all to know. You get caught Uncle Tom, coon, sellout, you chucking and jiving for the white man. You telling me this boy is only hanging around white people and somehow he a part of black people shun you. So I don't want to hear no black person trying to come to his rescue now when in the black community they shun you if you hanging around white people too much.
You know, sometimes you just gotta let people talk and look stupid, man. This is how it goes, man. You know what I mean? To look at Nolan, right, and then automatically assume that he don't got no black friends because you've seen him with white friends is insane to me. And I really believe Nolan was not the only black person on that island. He may have been the only black person on that boat, but I don't even think he was the only black person on that island. But again, I think when Tatum looks at Nolan, he thinks he's looking at himself. And I think the difference with Nolan and you is that Nolan may have hung out around white people, but I doubt Nolan made it a point to lose himself in the process, as clearly seen here. Let's go back. Let's let you look stupid. Let's let this play.
Around white people too much.
Wow. He exposing it, man. He didn't lie. He's lying on this young man as he is not with us no more. This is crazy. This is diabolical.
Yeah, so, you know, I know people look
work.
at that and they'll just say, well, you know, that's just one black guy. No, listen, there are friends of Nolan who have spoken out. I saw friends of Nolan at the funeral who were not white. You know who didn't show up? The ones that were on that boat.
Wow.
So if you want to talk about friends, him having all these friends that don't look how you want them to look because you dealing with something that you personally go through, it ain't gonna happen, bro. That's not where we at. Because look at this. This person left this comment and they said he just lies to lie. And you can clearly see Nolan in this right here in the back, you know? And it's interesting to me, man, to see people jump on here and come up with these lies. And the thing about Tatum, right, is that it's not the fact that he has an objective opinion. It's the fact that while you want to throw yourself out there as this investigative reporting journalist, whatever you want, whatever you're trying to do, you know, because obviously you're diving deep into the story and you're doing interviews, you're taking people back to the island, you're doing all this shit. So obviously you're doing some investigating of your own. Since when do you do the investigation trying to prove that a group of people didn't do anything? What if?
Wow. Shout out to BigZOTv, man. And right there, that just goes to show that's why people are exposing former police officer Brandon Tatum. Because of stuff like that. Outright lies, man. Outright stuff that is trying to slander the person that tragically lost their life on July 4th. And just like BigZOTv said, you're going out interviewing these white folks because they feel comfortable. And you feel comfortable with them. But like I've always stated in my previous videos, the whole interview with Warren, that thing was coerced. You giving him the answers to the questions that you was asking him. He wasn't going to incriminate himself. He went off your script. And people are calling that out. That's why D.L. Hewley went at you. That's why Nancy Grace went at you. That's why Trent Out Loud exposed you. But yeah, people will come up in the comment section saying, yeah, Officer Tatum, man, I stand by Officer Tatum. No. And then a lot of people say, why y'all keep on giving this guy, airtime like that? This is what he wants. Because stuff like this needs to be said. And it needs to stop. Because if you don't debunk it, he's going to continue with his narratives. And then once them narratives keep getting out there, if you don't debunk it, then people are going to start believing that stuff. So I'm glad it's YouTubers in this content creation space that are brave enough to stand up and call this man out. So like I said, shout out to BigZOTv, man, because he stood on his principles. And everything that he said, he had evidence to back it up. That former police officer Brandon Tatum is lying about Nolan Wells. Talking about he don't have no black friends. Look at all the evidence that BigZOTv provided. He gave you the meats with the potatoes. And then, like the one comment on the picture said, he just lies, he just talks to hear himself talk. And it's coming to the point now where it's getting cringy. Because you're so adamant about protecting the other side. What are you doing for the other side? Absolutely nothing. And this is why people are jumping on your neck. This is why people are calling you out. Because the more and more you start creating these narratives, you're going to believe in yourself. And this becomes a part of you. I just don't understand his thought process, man. Like Trent Out Loud said, he just wants to understand your position. But you haven't responded back to him to conduct that interview that you asked Trent Out Loud to give you. But you ran from it. You vacated the premises. So I'm glad people continue to expose this guy. If you ask me, he's a fraud. Everybody got their own interpretation on former police officer Brandon Tatum. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all get down in that comment section.
I see everyone in the comment section hashtag salute. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you will know every time I drop a hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And that will wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.